Chapter 10. Unfortunately, Lily girl. Of course you must play alone, said Diana. I'm not doing it, Lily girl, to lie down in the boat and pretend I was dead. Oh, I just couldn't. I couldn't keep still, said Jane Andrews. A girl of 13 girl going on 14, the pond was their new favorite place to play. It was Anne's idea that they act as Elaine. Lily girl still has studied Sanderson's poem in school over the winter. And Flame was set aboard of carrying the dead Elaine and let it fall under the bridge to the other side of the pond. Then it would be caught by the others. Well, I'll be Elaine, said Anne. Libby, you must be King Arthur. Jane will be Goldbull, and Diana must be Lancelot. And lay in the boat and held the flower to the chest. Oh, she does look really dead, whispered Lovey Girls nervously, watching the still white little face. Mrs. Lyons says acting is very bad. Livy shouldn't talk about Mrs. Lyons, said Anne, because this is hundreds of years before Mrs. Lyons was born. The boat began to float away. At first, Anne enjoyed the romance of being the Lily girl. Then something not at all romantic happened. The boat began to break. It looked like it was fill and sink, and Anne could not swim. Just then the boat is an old wooden pile, and jumped out of the boat and grabbed it. She held on and waited for the girls to find her. The boats were went under the bridge and then sank. Ruby, Jane, and Diana watched the sink and were sure that Anne had gone down with it. They screamed and ran off to find off. Poor Anne was still hanging onto the wooden pile. The minutes passed by. Each seemed like an hour to the unfortunate Lily girl. Just then a group of lights came under the bridge in the little boat. And Shirley, how on earth did you guess? There, she asked, without waiting for an answer. He hurried close to the pile and held off his hand and jumped down into the boat, scared and angry. We were playing Elaine, said Anne, trying not to look at him. Gilbert took Anne's lens, where the girl jumped out. Thank you, she said, and turned away. But Gilbert has also jumped from the boat. Anne said, I'm very sorry I called you Harris. I think your hair is very pretty now. Let's be friends. And thought for a moment that she remembered that she had his skillful flights. She would never forgive him. No, she said coldly. I shall never be friends with you, Gilbert Blythe. Right, Gilbert jumped back into the boat. His face flared. I'll never ask you to be friends again. Actually, as Anne walked away, she indicated that she has not answered Gilbert differently. She wanted to cry, but she told her friends that had happened they thought it was very romantic. Will you never have any sons then? Groans Marilla later. Oh yes, I think I will, Marilla, said Anne. Ever since I came to Green Gables, I've been making mistakes, and each mistake has helped me. The cake mistake stopped me from being careless in cooking. Dying me have stopped me from being vain. And today's mistake is going to cure me of being too romantic. I hope so, said Marilla. But Matthew, who had been sitting in his corner, said, Don't give up all your romance, son. Chapter 11 of Special Moment in Anne's Life. One fine evening, Anne was walking the cows home when Diana ran to meet her. Oh, I would have such a news, son. Mother got a letter and Aunt Josephine wants you and me to go to town to stay with her. agreed to less than to go to town. As Charles Sounds was 30 miles away, they needed to make the very early starts, and when I was before sun to the Tuesday morning. It was a long drive, but Anne says Diana enjoyed every minute of it. It was beautiful to ride through the country and town. They were very excited to be going to the city. It was almost noon, so they reached town. Miss Barry let them at the door. "So you come to see me as less than girl," says, "How have you grown? You're taller than I am, and you're so much better looking than you used to be, too." Everyone said that I was becoming very pretty as she got older. "Isn't it just like a palace?" whispered Diana as they waited for lunch. "Yes, if I dreamed of such a house," Diana said, "then it is so beautiful there is nothing left to imagine. There is one good thing about a swimming pool. There are so many more things he can dream about." And right, Miss Barry put Anne and Diana in the spare room, as she has promised. Yes, Anne felt some disappointment. Things you wanted as a child weren't as great when you finally got there. On Friday, Mr. Hurry came to drive them home. "Well, I hope you enjoyed yourselves," said Mrs. Barry. "Yes, we have," said Diana, "and you, Anger." "I've enjoyed every minute of it," said Anne. Then Miss Barry went back in her big empty house. "I think if I had a child like Anne in the house all the time, I would be better and happier woman," she said to herself. When Anne arrived home, the lights of Green Gables gave her a friendly welcome back. Anne ran up the hill and into the kitchen, where a hot meal was waiting on the table. "I'm glad you're back," said Marilla with a smile. "It's been very lonely here without you." "I had a wonderful time," Anne said happily. "The best of all was coming home." "That is good to hear," said Marilla. "And Miss Stacy was here this afternoon, was she? What did she want?" "Well, she wants to organize a class for advanced students who are studying to enter the Queen's. She wants to give them extra lessons for an hour after school. She came to ask Matthew and me if we would like to have you join it. What do you think, Sam? Would you like to go to Queen's and learn to become a teacher?" "Oh, Marilla, it's been the dream of my life. But isn't that terribly expensive?" "You shouldn't worry about the expense. As Matthew and I decided long ago that we would do the best we could for you and give you a good education. You will always have some fear as Green Gables, but a girl should be able to learn over on the living, so you can join the lesson if you like then." "Oh, Marilla, thank you," said Anne happily. Chapter 20. A Queen's Girl. It was a long hot summer that year, and Anne enjoyed it with her whole heart. When it was over, she went back to school and studied hard in Miss Stacy's Queen's class for that rare room thing known as the entrance. Anne grew so quickly that one day Marilla was surprised to find that the girl was taller than herself. Another difference was that she talks less. "You don't talk as much as you do." "Then what has come over you?" "I don't know. I don't want to talk as much," Anne said, turning red. "It's nicer to think dear, pretty thoughts and keep them in its own heart, like treasures." After months of studying, Anne went to town for the exams, which she returned to Green Gables. 3 weeks passed without the exam results appearing. Anne did not know what to do with herself. Then one day evening, Anne was sitting on her open window and she saw Diana come running off the hills with the newspaper in her hand. "And you fast!" she cried. "And you came first! You were capable, you were child! Well, now I'm always at it, said Mother, looking the exam results slightly. I knew you could beat them all easily. The next 3 weeks saw the busy times as Green Gables. I was getting ready to go to Queens, and there wasn't much to be done. I was to have many new clothes. Matthew said to it. And Marilla did not say anything. She even made a beautiful green dress for the special occasions. Marilla watched Anne packing her stick. Began to cry. I wish you could have stayed a little girl, Anne. You're grown up now, and you're going away makes me feel so lonely. Marilla, Anne sat down next to her. I will always be your little girl, Anne, who will love you and marry you then dear Green Gables every day of her life. Marilla put her arms around her girl and held her close, wishing that she need never let her go. They finally came for Anne to go to town. She and Matthew drove it one fine September morning. The next day, and the rest of the umbrella students went to Queen's Sewell. What's the cut? Yeah. I wonder if I will make new friends, and thus, of course, I promised Diana that no Queen's girl would never be as dear to me as she is. But I can still make friends, though it is so lonely here. It was lonelier still when Anne found herself alone in her little bedroom at night. It was a boarding house in town with a hard and cold street. Instead of trees, so she wanted to cry, and decided to try hard to win every scholarship given to the person with the highest grade in English and the English literature. If she won the scholarship, she would be given by an influence to Redmond's College. One day she would become a real graduate. Imagine how proud Matthew would be when